Let me grab my clock. Way to go. Oh, where are you? Ah, there it is. So I just make sure I have the clock ready because I did this last time and I forgot. 20 minutes. Okay. Welcome to ATR Powerslam, Above the Ring's exclusive YouTube show, coming to you to provide all your wrestling results for the week ending in September 23rd, 2023 with a 20-minute time limit. We're your hosts, the SLB and Scott. Before we begin, please make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. We're going to kick things off with Scott again for Monday Night Raw.
All right. Monday Night Raw. Kicking things off, of course, with Cody Rhodes. Still wanted to talk about Jey Uso. Automatically interrupted by Dominic Mysterio. And yeah, I mean, it's Dominic. Rhea's still not at any of these shows because she's still selling the injury from Nia Jax, which just reinforces other things that I don't want to talk about at the moment. So we end up having our first match, Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio, with Cody Rhodes getting the big victory. After that, there was Judgment Day, obviously nonsense, trying to attack Cody after the match. This brings out Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So KO's got obviously issues with Jey Uso being on Raw. So does most of the staff. So KO trying to question Cody as to why. So we'll go from there. After that, we had a one-on-one match between Kofi Kingston and Ivar. This was supposed to be a 2 out of 3 falls match between the Viking Raiders and the New Day, but unfortunately Eric is unable to wrestle at this point, so they turned it into a one-on-one with Kofi getting the victory. We had Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Ricochet via disqualification because Ricochet decided that he wanted to use a steel chair to smash the back of Shinsuke. I like that they're still using these two a lot. Obviously, Shinsuke in the middle of a run with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, but I don't know. It's nice to see that they're actually using these guys a lot now. Obviously, we have speaking of Seth Rollins, he comes out attacking Shinsuke, but Shinsuke fighting back and actually injuring Seth's back further. You know, the storyline between that, because Shinsuke has been targeting Seth's back, talking about how Seth's injuries to his back obviously is going to cost him his career at some point. So Shinsuke is just trying to expedite that process. After that, we had ourselves, which was supposed to be a women's tag team match between Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. And then once again, Nia Jax makes herself known, comes out, takes out all 4 women. So Nia obviously coming back, billed as the big heel here, but we'll see where this goes going forward. After that, we had a great action, a really good match between Bronson Reed and Chad Gable, both looking towards Gunther's Intercontinental Championship, with Bronson Reed actually getting the big victory here. After that, we had Becky Lynch come out and issue an open challenge for the NXT Women's Championship, which was answered by Natalya, with Becky Lynch getting the victory here. We had a big match between Tommaso Ciampa and Giovanni Vinci. Also nice to see these two actually wrestle, with Tommaso getting the victory here. And your main event was Drew McIntyre taking on and defeating Jey Uso. We also had more issues afterwards. Cody Rhodes coming out to help Jey Uso fight off the Judgment Day, and Drew McIntyre just stood and watched. So obviously Jey still has a long way to go to earn trust for a lot of the locker room. It's pretty much just Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn on his side of it now. So we'll see how this goes. But shifting gears over to NXT, we had Group A action in the NXT Global Heritage Invitational. Butch getting a big victory over Tyler Bate. This was a fantastic match between these two, with Butch actually closing out side A, so he will move on to the finals next week to challenge Noam Dar at NXT No Mercy. And on Group B side, we had, I would probably say, a little bit of an upset. We have Duke Hudson getting a victory over Joe Coffey, making it a 3-way tie in Group B, which they said would happen, that match, that tiebreaker match would happen later on in the night. We had a match between Roxanne Perez getting a big victory over Lola Vice. We had Carmelo Hayes and Dominic Mysterio going 1-on-1, that ending up in a no contest with Ilya Dragunov getting involved. Ilya versus Ilya versus Carmelo Hayes is going to be ridiculous at No Mercy. I'm very excited for it. So after that triple threat that I talked about, Joe Coffey, Nathan Frazier, and Duke Hudson all with 4 points in Group B. They met. Joe Coffey gets the victory. So it will be Joe Coffey versus Butch to see who takes on Noam Dar. And then after that, it was Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defeating Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton in your main event. So that's it for the beginning of WWE stuff. We'll send this over to Sam. We talk AEW, ROH, and Impact Wrestling.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that time of year, it is Grand Slam happening over there at Althras Stadium in New York. Opening match. There was a lot going on here. Opening match, Eddie Kingston takes on Claudio Castagnoli. Winner takes all for the Ring of Honor and New Japan Strong Openweight title. Eddie Kingston is now your Ring of Honor champion. I think I cried. I may have cried during this match.
Bro, I did too at the end. Seriously. That's so crazy.
I hope Eddie has the belt for a while. He has something about him. Especially coming back from during COVID, the whole thing, him getting his contract then. So super excited about that. Then we had a pretty cool match between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara with Chris Jericho getting the win.
Mm-hmm.
Another surprising title change, but I think it was due to potential injury. Rey Fenix defeats Jon Moxley to win the AEW International title. Saraya taking on defeating Toni Storm to retain her women's world title. And then the main event, I don't want to say shocker, because we knew what was going to happen. We just didn't know how. MJF defeating Samoa Joe by referee decision to retain the AEW title. So that was a lot of fun. Definitely go back and watch. This was actually, I thought, a pretty good Grand Slam.
I agreed. Yeah. Might have been their best one.
Yes, 100%. You get a little iffy with the Moxley injury, but
and the issue with Rick Knox with the 3 count that should have happened, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that happened and should not have. Hopping over to our to the Impact Zone. Following night on the 21st of September, we wrapped up Impact 1000. Again, if you ever have doubts in yourself, just remember Impact now has 1,000 episodes and is still going after all this time and after all their tribulations and troubles. Alan Angels defeats Ace Austin, Mike Bailey, Rich Swann, Samurai Del Sol, Impact World Tag Team Champion Zachary Wentz in a fatal 6-way Ultimate X match.
Nice.
Jake Sumton defeated Dirty Dango. Eric Young defeated Kenny King by DQ. Team Canada defeated Kenny King and Sheldon Dean by DQ. Team Canada in America's Most Wanted defeated The Design, Kenny King, and Sheldon Jean. Josh Alexander defeated Impact World Tag Team Champion Trey Miguel. And then main event, Knockouts champion Trinity, Jordan Grace, Awesome Colin, Gail Kim, and Mickey James defeated Deanna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, Angelina Love, and Tasha Steele. So probably trying to get the best of everyone here at this 1,000th episode of Impact. And here's for another 1,000 more episodes, guys.
Absolutely.
Hopping over to our Pokemon Wrap of the Week, Ring of Honor results. Katsuyori Shibata taking on defeating Nick Wayne to retain the Pure title. Diamante defeating Cardi Bell. Lee Moriarty defeating Lee Johnson. Mercedes Martinez defeating Trisha Dorna. Athena defeating Angela Love to retain the women's title. Kira Hogan, Sky Blue, and Willow Nightingale defeating the Renegades and Leela Hirsch. Ethan Page defeating VSK. El Hijo de Viquino. Gravity and Metalik defeating the Spanish Announce Project and Tony Nese. Action Andretti and Darius Martin defeating Cole Carter and Griff Garrison. Then Mogul Embassy defeating the Infantry and Willie Mack to retain the 6-man tag titles. Let's wrap up this WWE week with SmackDown, Scott.
All right, SmackDown. Without LA Knight, the poor man got COVID. We wish him the best in the speedy recovery so he can come back and entertain everybody as he always does. So we kick things off with John Cena. Exactly. They're now billing him as the greatest of all time, which obviously is not far from the truth at all. We also have, of course, Jimmy Uso, Sol Sikoa coming out. And John Cena saying that he found himself a phenomenal tag team partner with AJ Styles. So it looks like we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a main event later on, but we'll see what happens with that. After that, we had a tag team match between the LWO, Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar taking on and actually defeating the Street Profits, which with everything going on with them and Bobby Lashley, I didn't expect any losses to happen anytime soon, but that was not the case. But Bobby told them afterwards, he's like, if you guys don't pull the trigger here and become ruthless, I want everything I gave you back. So I'm like, all right, some tough love. I like it. After that, we had the SmackDown or the WWE Women's World Championship match, or actually just the WWE Women's Health. Too many names for these titles. Io Sky taking on and defeating Asuka. This match was outstanding, but unfortunately, a little shenanigans at the end. Bailey getting involved, distracting Asuka enough for Io to actually get the victory. I want these two to have a very long feud because it's just, yeah. And the video packages they had for this was just absolutely outstanding as well. We had Austin Theory and Grayson Waller take on and defeat the Brawling Brutes. And then as I talked about this potential tag team match, AJ Styles viciously attacked in the back by the Bloodline. And then after that, John Cena's out in the ring. Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa come out and just decimate this man. Samoan spikes, splashes. Yeah, leaving John Cena pretty much dead to rights at this point. They signed the contract. They moved this match to Fastlane. But John Cena doesn't have a partner. It's open for who it could be. People are saying it could be The Rock. People saying it could be LA Knight. I think this would be great for LA Knight. We'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it for SmackDown. Kick it back over to Sam. We'll talk Rampage and Collision, and then we're done.
Yes, we had a special 2-hour Grand Slam, and I'll tell you right now, I was not in the best of minds when this was on, so I will go back and watch this at some point. But we had Darby Allin and Sting taking on to defeat Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Hook, Chris Statler, and Orange Cassidy defeat Angelo Parker, Anna Jay, and Matt Menard in a mixed six tag team match. Sex tag team. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, that makes sense. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Title #1 contendership with the Righteous defeating Best Friends, the Hardys, and the Kingdom. AW World Trios title match where Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed defeated the Dark Order. Julia Hart took on defeated Sky Blue. And yeah, Mike Santana defeated Bronson. I know there's some stuff going on there with him. I don't know if that was addressed on here on Collision, but we will, talk about that at a future date. And then we had a Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team title match. The Elite defeat the Mogul Embassy to come back and become your new and repeating Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team. Hopping over to Saturday, because it's all right for fighting.
Yes.
Opening match, Christian Cage defeats Darby Allin and Luchasaurus to really now become the AEW TNT champion. I would love to see him if he weasel his way in to be like, actually, I was also champion for this period of time. Really,
right. So technically, he retained his title.
Yes. Here's one that's Hook and Rob Van Dam defeating Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. We had Julia Hart take on defeat Kara Hogan. Jay White take on defeating Andrade El Idolo. FTR retaining their AW World Tag Team titles against the Workhorsemen. And then the main event, Texas Deathmatch, Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks, with Bryan Danielson getting the W.
Nice.
That's all we have for this week, guys. Don't forget to watch, follow us on YouTube. Wrestle Dreams coming up. We'll be covering that. And guys, thank you for listening, watching, and enjoy your week.